In the annals of retail history, few stories are as poignant as that of Toys R Us, a beloved toy store that once stood as a beacon of childhood joy. The company's journey, from its meteoric rise to its heartbreaking bankruptcy, serves as a cautionary tale of how the retail landscape can shift dramatically in the face of evolving consumer behavior and technological advancements. Toys R Us was founded in 1948 by Charles Lazarus, who initially opened a baby furniture store. Recognizing the burgeoning market for toys, he pivoted the business in 1957 to focus entirely on toys, creating a dedicated space for children's products that would eventually evolve into the iconic toy superstore we remember today. The brand became synonymous with childhood, a place where parents could find everything from action figures to board games, and where children could revel in the sheer delight of browsing aisles filled with their favorite toys. By the 1980s and 1990s, Toys R Us had become a retail giant, boasting over 800 locations in the United States and a global presence. However, the dawn of the 21st century brought with it a seismic shift in retail, primarily driven by the rise of e-commerce. Companies like Amazon began to alter the shopping experience fundamentally. The convenience of online shopping, coupled with the ability to compare prices effortlessly and access a broader range of products, began to chip away at the traditional brick-and-mortar retail model. Consumers, particularly parents, found themselves drawn to the ease of purchasing toys online, often from the comfort of their homes. This shift was not just a trend, it was a revolution that Toys R Us underestimated. As e-commerce flourished, Toys R Us struggled to adapt. The company's initial attempts to establish an online presence were clumsy at best. In the late 1990s, they partnered with Amazon to sell toys online, but this relationship ultimately backfired. While Toys R Us benefited from Amazon's existing infrastructure, it also inadvertently helped to strengthen a competitor that would soon overshadow it. By 2000, the partnership ended, leaving Toys R Us to fend for itself in the rapidly changing digital marketplace. The company's struggles were compounded by its decision to invest heavily in physical stores rather than digital capabilities. While competitors were developing sophisticated online platforms, Toys R Us remained focused on expanding its brick-and-mortar footprint. This misalignment with consumer preferences led to a decline in foot traffic, as families increasingly opted for the convenience of online shopping over the traditional in-store experience. The once crowded aisles of Toys R Us began to empty, and sales figures reflected this worrying trend. As the years progressed, the financial strain became evident. In 2005, Toys R Us was taken private in a leveraged buyout, a move that initially seemed promising. However, the burden of debt from this buyout hampered the company's ability to invest in necessary innovations. Instead of channeling resources into enhancing their online shopping experience or revamping their stores to make them more appealing, Toys R Us found itself shackled by financial obligations. The company's inability to pivot quickly in a fast-evolving market became a significant liability. In 2013, Toys R Us attempted to revive its fortunes by launching and enhancing its online presence. These efforts came too late. Competitors like Amazon had solidified their dominance in the toy market, offering not only lower prices, but also faster shipping and a more seamless shopping experience. The gap between Toys R Us and its digitally savvy competitors continued to widen, leaving the once mighty retailer struggling to keep pace. The final blow came in September 2017, when Toys R Us filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. The announcement sent shockwaves through the retail industry and left countless consumers mourning the loss of a cherished institution. The bankruptcy was not merely a reflection of poor management decisions. It was a culmination of years spent ignoring the seismic shifts in consumer behavior and the retail landscape. In the wake of the bankruptcy, numerous lessons emerged for business leaders and decision-makers. The first and most critical takeaway is the importance of adaptability. The retail sector is in a constant state of flux, driven by technological advancements and changing consumer preferences. Companies must remain vigilant and responsive to these changes, embracing innovation rather than resisting it. For Toys R Us, the failure to pivot toward e-commerce and invest in digital infrastructure proved catastrophic. Another lesson is the significance of understanding one's competition. In a landscape dominated by giants like Amazon, It is essential for businesses to not only recognize their competitors, but also to learn from them. Toys R Us's initial partnership with Amazon could have been a stepping stone to success, but the company's inability to leverage that relationship effectively ultimately led to its downfall. Moreover, the story of Toys R Us underscores the necessity of financial prudence. The leveraged buyout that burdened the company with debt stifled its ability to innovate and adapt. Businesses must carefully consider their financial strategies and ensure that they are not compromising their long-term viability for short-term gains. Finally, the rise and fall of Toys R Us serve as a reminder of the emotional connection consumers have with brands. While e-commerce offers convenience, the nostalgia and experience associated with visiting a toy store cannot be replicated online. Retailers must find ways to create memorable experiences for customers, blending physical and digital interactions in a way that resonates with consumers. In conclusion, the bankruptcy of Toys R Us is a multifaceted narrative that highlights the challenges faced by traditional retailers in an era dominated by e-commerce. It serves as a powerful reminder of the need for adaptability, the importance of understanding competition, the necessity of financial prudence, and the value of emotional connections with consumers. As businesses navigate the complexities of the modern retail landscape, the lessons learned from Toys R Us will undoubtedly resonate for years to come.